Good afternoon. My name is Gabe Zollner. I'd like to talk about some things that I find to be most interesting, and that is, within the United States, 20 of our states are controlled by Democratic governors, and pretty much all of those states are having the highest unemployment. They also seem to have the highest crime rates throughout the country as well. What's fascinating is that everybody's eyes is on Ohio. And everybody's saying that Governor Romney must win Ohio in order to win the presidency. Well, let's look at Ohio. At the present time, they have a 7% unemployment rate. And their governor, John Kasich, well, he happens to be a Republican. So what we have is we have a state that seems to be leaning towards Obama, or the media says it's leaning towards Obama. And at the same time, what we have is we have a state that has a 7% unemployment rate, and a lot of that, I think, is due to Governor Kasich. What's interesting as well is Ohio has a very large dependency on an abundant supply of coal. And Obama and his administration through the EPA is pretty much decimating that industry. There's a video that has Obama saying, you want to build a coal plant? Go ahead and do it, but you're going to go bankrupt. And the reason they're going to go bankrupt is because of the EPA regulations. What's interesting, too, is you take your state like California. Well, the governor that's there now, Jerry Brown, he was there earlier on, and he's the reason, I believe, that California is in the mess that it's in. And that is because when he was governor a number of years ago, when he was first governor, he allowed the unions to take advantage by having excessive grants given to them and having excessive pensions granted to them. And that's exactly what the problem is right now. To give you an example, in California, every 20 years, they hire a new police force and they hire a new fire department. But they don't get rid of the previous ones, they still pay for those through the pensions. In California, a sheriff receives 90% of his three last year's highest earnings. So what they do is they work a lot of overtime in their last year. So if his salary was $100,000, with overtime he's now at about $170,000, and he gets 90% of $170,000. And they're all in the game, they all play the game, so they all allow each other to take advantage of the overtime so they can take advantage again of how the system works. There's no state, there's no country that can afford that kind of insane spending of money. It simply can't work. It can't sustain itself. That's a problem that we have in this country right now with the unions. Now, people say, well, Obama saved General Motors and Ohio has a lot of automotive. Well, that's probably true, but see, the thing is, if they would have gone to normal bankruptcy, they would still probably be employed. They might not have become owners because Obama gave a percentage of General Motors to the unions. He also gave a percentage of Chrysler to the unions. Now, it's nice to be able to give things away, especially if you don't pay for them. He did that with our money. He didn't do that with his own money. And this is exactly what the problem is. A lot of these politicians, once they gain power, they don't want to let go of it. Another example of that is John McCain. Well, John McCain says he's a Republican. And John McCain co-authored the National Defense Authorization Act, which another state, according to what I saw on WND this morning, deemed it to be unconstitutional. You'd think that a 25-year senator would know what's constitutional and what isn't constitutional. I guess he doesn't know. But John McCain's a whole different story. What really has to happen is people have got to take a real good look at what's going on. Once again, the highest states of unemployment tend to be states that are controlled by Democrats. Interestingly enough, the highest states with the highest murder rates are those states that do not allow their citizens to have any access to weapons. District of Columbia, Illinois, and Vermont. Vermont, I don't believe, has a high rate of murders, but Illinois, absolutely number uno in the nation. And they don't allow their citizens to have arms. Well, if they don't allow them to have arms, how are these people getting killed? It doesn't work. And you know what's really interesting is all of these politicians that want to take away our gun rights, guess what? They all have armed 24/7 security. Well, why do they think that their lives are worth any more than ours? Change has got to take place. And it all starts on November the 6th. Thank you.